points that I have missed, but I believe that were the points that for that meeting.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's what really makes sense. So I guess so for you, as you said, you looked at what Brian has shared, but you haven't really looked at it with a sharp lens. So should we say this strategic plan is kind of done, but you would have the last thing to like really kind of brush through it and really say, okay, this is what we discussed, because I went through it and I don't see many things that have changed from our last discussion in Nairobi, especially on day 4. Um, so to me, I didn't have, but it's I look forward to hearing from you, Robert, if there are some things that needs to be changed or adjusted or reflected differently on that or any other member. So I think that when we can, move forward. So for the points, so the action number 2, which is points for not verified to member states, Jan has shared something now, but maybe it's also give him a chance to kind of present some key components or even ask some clarification on certain things. I think he might want us to discuss on this point, and then we take it from there.
Yes, can I just say something on the strategic plan?
Yeah.
Perhaps I didn't read it carefully enough, but do we have anything mentioning health, well-being, ISO integration educations, well-being, food security of this component? Are we going to add this point or not? It's a question, so I don't say that's for me.
Just a second, and I would need to go back and see where this might and what I'll put forward if there is something.
I think it goes in the second priority, which is access to quality educations, and you can put health and well-being, something like that. I think
health and well-being.
It could be.
Yeah. It can be packed.
Yeah. I don't know what the other things, but I think it is quite associated. Yeah.
To me, I think it's a valid point. Health and well-being.
May I?
Yes, please.
Yeah. No. I think yes, for sure. Because if I heard very well, like I said, I'm not looking at the document right now, and I remember the strategy plan that we had. I believe it's in order if it comes under the second strategy point, like we mentioned. But also we need to be mindful that this strategic plan now, it has to be developed into an action plan. So from strategy, now all those activities related to the strategic specific objectives, if I'm not mistaken, now has to be taken as action, as activities. So I believe it is from there. If we have missed it somewhere, I'm sure we will pick it when we dissect all the strategic priorities into proper action plan. And also, I'm also being mindful that we should not put a lot of things in the action plan. Mm-hmm. We need to put things that we are able to do based on the resources, based on the time and everything. And also being mindful that the main target is 2025, 2026. And like Jan mentioned last time, the African Youth Games Olympic Youth Games in Senegal. So I'm led to believe that we need to develop it a bit further, the strategic plan into now action plan. Being mindful also that the action plans is still ongoing with the activities of the foundation. Now these activities now will be merged and maybe put on the timelines and roadmap that we are doing right now. And from there we'll have a sort of visual view of what is happening, what has happened, and what needs to happen in the next couple. So that's the way I see it. But if we've missed it somewhere, I'm sure going forward we can pick it.
Mm-hmm. Super. Okay. Jan?
Okay, clear for me. So, second point. So, perhaps, yes, I can go through the little bullet point I put for the verbal notes. This is just a draft. It's something, I read it for you if you want. And after everyone can change it, or perhaps it will be for you, Robert, to put it on the way you think it is more useful. But as I said, I've done something very short, but I feel it's still too long. So I put few paragraphs. One is context. So I say 2024 is the year of education at the African Union. So I put that because I think it's put directly a road what we are following. Under I put a little thing which is il faut tout un village pour élever un enfant. You need all the village to educate the kids. I think it's a Pearl proverb. But so sport has an important role to play in promoting access to education, especially among the most deprived. It also means facilitating mobilization, dialogue, integrations, living together, and promoting social growth. Thus, the African Union, as part of its general policy, wants to strengthen the use of sport to support the public policy challenges of its member states, bringing good practices to put sport at the service of youth for their protections, their integrity, their education, and sustainable development. So that's the context. Mobilizations in November 2023, African Union signed a MOU with Tlpf Peace Foundations. The first objective of this cooperation being to pool expertise and resources from government, institutions, international organizations, members of civil societies, private sector to support the implementation of integrations, education, development, and peace program through sport. So that's the mobilizations. Then actions, which is what just Robert mentioned. We need to put an action plan behind this roadmap. So the first task force proposes the establishment of a pilot project with member states wishing to host a program using sport in a structured social and educational framework to promote the integration of refugees, internally displaced populations and vulnerable groups, and more particularly in the services of their youth. From this program, several social and educational objectives will be deployed to support beneficiaries by using sport as a media. So those points are education, dialogue and integrations, well-being, health and food security, and performance. And the last block is African Youth Refugee Team. So indeed, the performance sections will give the opportunity to detect talented athletes who will be able to join the African Youth Refugee Team to participate in competition on the African continent. I didn't mention Dakar because that will be next discussion we will have about ANOCA positions. Perhaps it's nice if the proposition come from ANOCA. And then the last sentence I put, today we are checking to mobilize 2 or 3 states to host the first pilot projects. So that was the draft ID, which now we can change, challenge, use or not, whatever, but that's what I propose.
May I please?
Yes, over to you, Robert. Yes, please.
Okay. First of all, thank you, Jan, for this wonderful piece of work, because I think it speaks to the original idea. I don't know, Evelyn, you remember when we prepared that sort of concept note? We were trying to share that with actually there was some work in progress towards putting this document on the refugee activities as part of the technical, as one of the activities for the technical committee of the African Games. technical committee that was the original technical committee of the African Games that was there for 2023. But then we had some challenge on the way, the discussion, and everybody know the story, discussion with Anoka and Oxa, and then we had to change, AU had to change, and then there had to be a new ad hoc committee. But I think, long story short, this speaks to what we are doing. In terms of the not verbal, I can prepare the usual in-house, what you call that, the usual in-house
template or
standard,
let us say
standard,
yes,
standard not verbal that we share. But maybe, as Ian said, we can add. I don't think we are going to delete anything. We can add a little bit on the document and we'll use it as a sort of concept document.
Yes, I know there is a specific policy because in the context, but views the African Union as part of its generally policy. But perhaps we can mention a specific policy or specific decisions that have been taken, which is everything is under the aegis of that. That's the driving. It's even before the memorandum of understanding with Tlpf Peace Foundations. The funding is the policy of the African Union toward assisting member states in implementing impactful public policies.
Sure. And then we also have the sports policy that we endorsed last year in 2019, and for sure it speaks to that also. So okay, I'll add all that.
Okay, excellent.
Let me add all that to what Jan has prepared, and then we'll share it again. We don't need to have a meeting to finalize that. We can just share that the document in the next couple of days, next week at the latest. And we will, once we give in 1 week's time, we all agree on what has been prepared, and then we can add again and then we prepare the note verbal we can share with the member states. So let me add to that, and then we can share again, and then we give our final thoughts, and then we are ready to go. That's what I propose.
Clear for me. Perfect.
Super.
Okay.
I still have one or two things in mind. Evelyn, should I continue?
Yeah. Please. You still have the floor.
Okay. I keep it. So I move to another topics. I know next one is Anoka. Ambassador had a meeting with them. I think the best is to wait for her to be back to discuss on that and give us the reality. What I want to discuss, if I can take your attention quickly, is I will after develop these two the opportunities that we will mention, but you know already. But my question is, now there is a MOU between African Union and Tlpf Peace Foundations. Clearly, we are going to create a kind of task force. This task force will allow partners, actors to join force and to work with us towards the program or towards the event. How do we activate those people to join the task force? That's my question. Do we will have different steps? Like, do you want to have a kind of special commissions? Is it possible to do that, or is it a non-official one? Or a special task force where we're going to give position to these people to join as advisor or as experts? Are we going to have a kind of managerial structurations on that? Just to be clear, because now we are going certainly by all our connections starting to talk to people like it has been done with Anoka. At the moment, if these people want to act with us, what will be the activations process for them to join us? That's my questions. Are we clear with that? And what can we do exactly?
Evelyn?
Well, that's a good question. Okay, so when it comes to the activating, for me, I think it will be here. the process I'm thinking about, but again, I stand to be corrected, is that I think first and foremost, we really need to map out all the partners that we think they are key, and once we map them out and be able to, I think, really find a way to engage them, to introduce this this venture. I mean, and as I said, I haven't thought about it clearly how we're going to do that, but I think that will be the first thing first. When I talk about the partners, I'm looking at both those that we're going to engage in those countries, whether it's local associations or organizations, but also the government in the countries we're going to, but as well as the financial stakeholders we think we're going to need. I think that's the way I see it. And once that is done, activating actually also involves even this contact already that ambassador is having with the ANOCA, and probably reaching out also to the organizers of the Youth Olympics in Senegal. All of those, I think, for me, forms part of activation of this initiative. But I haven't really had like a clear thinking about how we can sequencing that, and what strategy we need to use to be able to reach out to all of these actors.
Robert?
Okay.
To you, Robert.
Okay. Thank you, Evelyn. Thank you, Jan. If I remember well, when we were starting that conversation, when was that? 2 years ago, when we started the meeting, we sort of articulate a sort of term of reference for the task team. We still have it somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, true. Yes, we still have that.
Yeah, we can pull it out and look at it again now with a view of, we know what where we are going, and using what Evelyn mentioned in terms of the mapping of the task team. I think that is a decision we will make in our meeting going forward. Who are the organization, or who are the people? Because sometimes when we talk about the organization will be represented by a person, and sometimes it's the person that we know and that we know will provide input and will provide value based on the experience and based on what we want to do. For sure, that should be in line with the TOR of the task team and what is their responsibility. So I think this is a decision that we will take together going forward. I see the task, like Ian said, I see the task team in, I mean, both ways. It could be an ad hoc task team of experts that advise, or it could be a formal task team that are fully involved in the decision-making process of the whole organization, and linked to the MOU that was signed until its conclusion. But I believe this will be based on, when you look at the MOU, the role and the responsibilities of the foundation, the role of the responsibilities of the African Union, the credibility that the people will bring to this organization, and all together. Because I'm giving this example because right now I'm working in a task team. I'm part of a task team. The task team has, just to give an example, not only expert, but decision-making capacity. So as to when we come to final decision, we will say that this decision was agreed by the task team that was set up under the organization or under the aegis of this committee. And if I remember well, we can also reread the MOU. Somewhere in the objectives or the process, I think it mentioned somewhere that both parties will do what is possible to ensure the MOU is implemented fully and and diligently. So I think now the decision will ride on us to see how we go about it, and how many people do we need to bring on the task team, where do they come from, and I think these decisions we can agree together, and in the next week or so, like I said, we can articulate this. But again, I can on my side, and I hope, sorry, I'm not noting anything down, but I hope Brian is noting. Brian?
Yes, please.
I hope actually he's able to. I don't know if we is recording. Brian?
Yes, I'm always recording. I'm right here.
Yes, I thought
Okay,
so.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
thanks.
Thank you, thank you. So I'm just saying that in the next week or so, I'll okay. Tomorrow I can bring out the term of reference that we had. We can relook at it again, add some new things on that, and then from there, we know what the term of reference we speak about, and if we all agree, and then we'll be ready to call in the people that we want to bring them in. Or we might say one organization like AU can bring 3 people, and the foundation will bring 3. I don't know. I'm just thinking aloud, but I agree with Jan, which is a very, very important question. Going forward, we need to establish the task team. Which will the task team be? Advisory, formal, technical? We will decide on that. Thank you.
I think this is the perfect positioning. You mentioned expert. I think it's a good name, expert task team. I think and perhaps you can have executive task team, which will be more small one. But that's clear, because now we are going to address some of them, and for sure for a group like on running, they will have a representative somewhere, depending on their support. But we will have some individuals that we will also would like to propose. So, but I see that Tegla is joining.
Yeah. Hi guys. I'm sorry I lost my laptop, so I'm trying to use somebody's mobile.
We are so sorry for that. Other than you being sorry.
Good evening,
So I need a fundraising of a laptop.
Are you coming in Europe? If you come in Europe, perhaps I think I have one.
And then I have to look for the ticket.
She might as well spend for buying one.
So go to the market.
Anyway, I really want to say thank you everybody, because you are discussing something important. So I just want to follow what also Robert and Jan also about working together to see whom we are going to bring in. Shall I report about Anoga, because I can see the battery is going to die.
Yes, Ambassador, let's jump on item 3 and then we can go back to, but yes, so that we don't lose you, please update us on the meeting with the Anoka.
Yeah, the meeting with Anoka, I believe Anoka, and I want to say congratulations, Robert, for making Anoka to realize they cannot work without Africa Union. Now, finding of Anoka, there was one person called Uksa, Robert.
Yes, I'm aware of that, Ambassador.
Yes, now Uksa, Anoka are in conflict with Uksa.
Yes.
So, which is good thing for us. Anoka say that this is from the president.
Peacemakers.
No, I don't know. because already what's her name, Anoga, they were commenting some funny words when I was in Ghana, talking about Tegla is only on the Africa Union. And one time, one of the senior most person came to me and say, you and AU. And then I told you know what, I am an African. And I reverse an African, I'm sorry. So the other day now for them, I say, we are African. They don't want to work. They don't want to work with Uksa. What they want to say, what they wanted to put in is that now is AU, ANOCA, and the hosting country. That is Egypt, for example,
Yeah.
or whatever country we are going to work with. So I listened to them when they finish, and then I asked Berab that I want to talk to you. I asked first Kumel that I would love to talk with Berab and him, but there is something that I just want to talk, nothing bad, but maybe something that will bring you people to respect to the youths that we are talking about. And then they gave me opportunity to talk with him in person. I said I will not talk when I have many people, either two people or Berab. So I talked to Berab. And then he explained, Berab told me to take, like, you know, that I do not have any problem with Africa Union. I didn't want to complain. I say, no, it's not about now we are blaming, but you put me as your athlete ambassador representing the refugees and any other displaced person. This is what the MOU with Africa Union and Tegla Peace Foundation, and also me as a person who is in the foundation, and I represent our organization ANOGA. So what we want to do is can we work together, because we are aiming 2026 the youths of Africa. And he was really, really happy. And he said, okay, go and write to me. And that's something that I wanted now, Jan, because you speak French and you can explain to Peraf further what you want to do. So they are buying the project, the ideas. So they are ready to work with us in whatever we want to do with AU. And I told him, Berab, this will be your, it's almost like your legacy to see that you are the president of ANOGA. You are not the president of one country, you are the president of the whole 54 countries. And we are here to support you. And then Olympia Africa, Ian and Robert, they are ready also to work with us. And they told me that they will go to Rwanda and see what Olympia Africa are doing in Rwanda. So when I mentioned the working together with Africa Union, Diek, who is the leader of this Olympia Africa, asked me that let's talk. So again, this again comes back to our office and also to Jan. And Evelyn, when we are in Rwanda, I want you to visit this Olympia Africa.
Super.
Yeah, that's what I put in AAU in Africa. So there is a positive from Anoka.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, so
Great,
Robert,
that's great.
do you have any clarification for that before probably we?
No,
Yeah.
no. I mean, I don't have any clarification. I think it's good. We are on the right track, and I believe through that entry that ambassador has done with Anoka, maybe we should have more meetings with. We should have. I don't know, our parallel meeting with Anoka, and also to keep them informed and keep them on our side, and also with
Yes.
Olympic Africa that Ambassador Tegla mentioned, because I believe it's very important that we since the door now has opened, and we keep it open. We don't want them to close, and we don't want them, so that they know what we are doing, And I would even propose,
Yes.
maybe if everyone agrees, as one member of the task team, it comes from Anoka.
I was
Very good.
moving into I was going to actually thank you so much, Robert, for bringing that up. So this
Yeah.
was my next action point, I think, as we talk about it. So I was thinking in the letter, even in the letter to Belaf, the same way that the
Mm.
same thing that Tegra has suggested that Yan drafts, that we need to make sure that in the letter we are actually specific, because I know Belaf is high level. So, but by addressing him, if we can ask him straightforward, who is the technical person that we're going to engage going forward, that this person is always kept abreast with what is happening, is briefed to involve him. He can be a member of the task force as well, but make sure
Mm.
that everything that we do, that this person brings the information back to Beraf, or to the decision
Yes.
makers of Anoka. I think that
Mm.
should be one of the things that we include in the letter we draft to Belaf, to make it much more the same way.
Great.
Yeah, what does Jan think about that?
I think it's really positive. Well done, Tegla. More important is that first Beraf support, and that's
Yeah.
important because he's a leader. So how he was going to be invested, we'll see. But if he see a political visibility for him, he will definitely invest himself a lot. That's, after Olymp Africa, it's really good. They had some good activities. It took time to grow and to be
Mm.
efficient. But Tchermio Diak, who's running that, is a political guy, but he's doing quite well. So I think it's really interesting to cooperate with Olymp Africa. Very interesting. And specifically because that will facilitate to open the doors to all the African NOCs.
In fact,
So
they also asked me from Olympia Africa that they need me to be the ambassador.
very good, but you know it belongs to Anoka in a way. It's like the
Yes.
social, yes, CSR. So, but that's not the question today. But you have to see from your political position what you can do with them. You know, it has to be
Yeah.
sensitive what you can do. But so Olymp Africa is really good. But now I totally agree. We need to activate BERAF. We need to
Yes.
put the dynamic in place. I totally agree with you, Robert. BERAF will not be the locomotive, the guy who's going to do the actions. So we need to find someone in Anoka who's going to follow that. I think, Tegla, you met also other people, close advisor of BERAF, no?
I have this person from Algeria and another person that we can also talk with is Engineer Kumel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see.
Engineer Kumel is a treasurer for Anoga and is a sound-minded person.
Okay.
Yeah. May I come in?
Yes, I have a last point for you, Robert.
I have to laugh.
So you can have.
I have to
I
laugh
have a last point.
when we speak about Anoka. Anyway, we all
I have
know.
a last point. Just last point for you, Robert, because it's a question for you. So I'm quite comfortable for the letter and follow up. Question is to offer something to Mustafa. Do you think it's still possible to discuss about Mustafa coming to Addis Abeba and addressing a speech during an assembly or something, presenting the collaborations, announcing the first youth refugee team going to Dakar, etc. Do you think it's something that could be proposed to him in this letter?
You know that would have been nice, but you know what I wanted to say is that yes, what Ambassador Tekla mentioned, there has been a lot of warming collaboration with Anoka lately because of their fight with the other
Yes.
body, UXA. They used to be, they used to be banded against African Union.
Yes.
Now they have a problem between them. So now this one wants to come to that one. Actually, UXA also wants to speak to the African Union. Let me remind you about that.
Uh-oh.
But one good thing, one thing about that is that it's good if Anoka wants to work with you, and they are mentioning uh,
Mm.
African Union now with a mouthful, now with no whatever, because we told them and we let them know that listen, this is the African Union. You either work with us or you are not going to get what you want. So,
Oh, yes.
um, and they are very smart people, like Ian mentioned. They are very smart, and for sure they are going to look for something that sort of gives them some mileage somehow. Now, I think we need to take them. If now I answer the what you told,
Credibility close to you.
yeah. If I now answer what Ian mentioned, I think we need to sort of see if they really speak what you call talk the walk. Okay, if they really do what they say they will do. So what I propose is that yes, in that letter that will be drafted, is that we mention that we are, like Evelyn mentioned, we want to invite Anoka to have a seat on our technical committee.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, our tax team. Sorry,
Yes.
our tax team. The role of the tax team will be this and that and that, and we let them decide. If Beraf wants to come himself, which I know he will not come, but if they are going to bring a technical person, it Ambassador Tegla, it will be most likely be Japi from Malawi. You know Japi, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, it might be Japi because I don't think Engineer Gumel will come because
I
that
know.
might not have the same
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
level of engagement like the African Games. He might send somebody like Japi, or he would have sent what's his name, William. But
But now,
unfortunately now they have
now,
fought and kicked William out. So so it
yes,
might
I
be
wanted
Japi.
to tell.
Yeah, it might be Japi, and we know the people. So we just invite them
Yes.
to say,
That
listen,
would be
listen,
nice
listen,
for
guys.
us. Yes. Mm.
Yeah. So whomever they bring in, it doesn't matter. But at least they are there. They
Yes.
contribute, like I said. And Ian mentioned something that maybe now we need now to put it in perspective in terms of
Mm.
the level of engagement. I believe yes, we'll have a technical committee
Mm.
where the task will be mostly technical, but we will have the executive, which will be those of us that are sitting there, unless there are
Yes.
other people that we will bring on. So that is my take on that one.
Great.
Super. Right?
Great.
Yeah, great. Any other question, Jan? Any other clarification on this item?
No, not especially on this item yet.
Okay.
Perhaps associated, I want to mention perhaps the discussion I had with Lam. Is it the right moment?
Yes, it's also related to this, right? To
Okay, could be.
yeah.
When we started discussion a few years ago, Robert, I proposed to him, I think I sent you a resume of this young guy. Um, we discussed about Lam Jor, who is a refugee coming from South Sudan, and that joined Tegla program. He was in Kakuma refugee camp, and he was with the close training with the close athlete to prepare Rio, the first Olympic team,
Rio, yes.
refugee Olympic team in Rio. Lam was not selected to be a runner there, but he maintained the program. And what is interesting in his journeys, he always been very keen to maintain his educational program. So he always do his best to go to school. And he continued to work with the academy, with the refugee, with the different program, which bring him to be a kind of coordinator in Tokyo. And he was in Tokyo, again, not as an athlete running, but to assist and to be a coordinator in Tokyo. And after that, because he also he continued his life in educations, he had the opportunity to grade a scholarship to join Oxford. So Lam, as a refugee, through his journey of trying to be an athlete because he was a good runner, not good enough to be in the top 5, but good enough to be a runner and to go to school, finally get a scholarship to go to Oxford. So today, this guy is in Oxford, he's graduated from Oxford, and just for this story, I think he will be a very interesting member of our discussions,
Yeah.
and can have a strong I will say capacity to be always connected to the community we are addressing. So that was my introductions to welcome Lam, and I'm very happy, Robert, to send you again his resume that I sent to you 2 years ago. I think perhaps it changed a little bit, but I have that. Now, this being said, because my motivation is really associated to this guy due to his journey. Sports bring him out of refugees, and sports also bring him to keep educations, and education bring him to Oxford, and now he have Oxford university degrees. But
And then another thing,
yes, sorry, Tegla.
he is our ambassador. This is the work that the foundation did for the refugee education and sports.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
He was in charge of his project. Yeah. And second point, why also Lam? Because Oxford have now a chair working on refugee and forced displaced populations. And in these chairs, they are now running a kind of research program about sports. And they want to activate projects. They just don't want only to monitor good practices, etc., and do research, but they also want to go in the ground with their resources. So what could be interesting also in welcoming Lam is we could, why not, use him to write an invitations letter to this chair of Oxford and to benefit from all their academic capacities and to see, why not, in case of actions, if they will be happy to merge their project with what we are doing, because I'm sure it's quite similar. So that was a second point, but it's not completely linked into Lam. It could be done independently. Is why not Oxford or another university, but why not welcoming a strong academic group who is already committed to make research on the situation of refugees, displaced populations, and also willing to consider sports as an important vehicle. So that's the first point, which is addressed. And the second one, which is my last, to finish this long break, also just to let you know, Lam, when he was an athlete, for sure have been followed by On Running. And On Running was very impressed to see Lam going to Oxford, and after his graduations, On Running proposed a job to Lam. So the next position of Lam is going to be with On Running. Today, you have a kind of, I would say, short-term positions, doing some marketing or whatever in London, but they are building for him to play a role, important role in this group growing. So it will be also very good for us, I think, when we are going to discuss with On Running, that they realize that one of them will be part of the discussions inside our group. So that was my second informations. That's it. Sorry, a bit long. I hope it was clear.
Robert, your take on that? Hello?
I don't know if you
Robert?
hear me because I know I hear you a bit jumpy.
Okay, now we can hear you. There's a time I didn't hear you. But did you hear Jan? What Jan explained?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. No.
super.
Yeah. Yes. I heard what Jan explained. For me, I don't need I don't need much convincing. I think we were in one of those meetings. We were speaking to Lam, if I remember very well.
Yeah.
And then also he spoke to me individually. Lam sometimes last year he spoke to me. He sent me a message, and he was interested how far it was on the issue of the refugee team and things like that. And I think we had a conversation, and he was telling me that he was about to leave. I think this organization that he's working with, he's working with a UN organization, if I'm not mistaken. Before now, he plans to leave to go to on running. So I think his contract was coming at the end, and he was asking me what are the possibilities, and I sent him some information. Yeah, I think yes. If we are, like I said earlier, we are going to talk about organization, but we are going to talk about individuals. And I think no one could be better placed than Lam to be on this tasking, because I think he will not only bring the input, but he will also bring the story of refugees pathway, like just alluded by Ayan, about what could happen if we apply programs that really speak to the subject matter. I think Lam is a good example, and when we take him forward, and he's sitting on this committee, and this will bring more credibility and value to whatever we plan to do in the next cohort of refugees. I believe that would be super. So as we go forward, we are articulating who going to sit on this technical committee, and I believe now we by the maybe not the end of this meeting, but the end of next week, once we have articulated everything, we will know who will be the people that are sitting on this committee. Thank you, Ian, for this.
Thanks, excellent.
Super.
All good for me. Sorry, I'm fine. I'm very fine. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay. Any other comments on that? Super.
No comment.
Yeah.
From me.
Okay. So it looks like unless I mean it's been 1 hour, and I think one thing that we're going to have to learn to do is to make sure that if we say meeting is 1 hour, lasts for 1 hour. So that people
Yes,
this.
Yeah.
I like to make sure that it's really like we strive to do that, but we had not announced that in the beginning, but it's okay. We can be able to put that on, another time meeting for maybe 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. Then we don't restrict ourselves. But shall we go back to point 2? Not very bad to member states, or have we exhausted that item? Because I remember we were mindful that ambassador did not have her battery on, so we wanted to jump on item 3, the meeting with the briefly. But we will go back to that item 2.
Just a minute.
Or do we that as well?
I'm sharing in a few.
When you said item 2, Evelyn, I'm not sure. Are you saying point 1 item 2, points on not verbal to member states, or are you talking about item 2, establishment of the tax scheme for Olympic Youth Games? What is your point there?
What point? It's the first one. Which point? For, do you feel like that?
I didn't get you very well. What did you say?
The points for not very bad, because you remember when
Okay.
Ambassador came in when we were still discussing it, but then we had to cut it short because we were worried that we might lose her, so we jumped into yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Have we?
I don't know if she heard about what we said, so unless we have to to raise it again.
No, I didn't hear. Yeah.
So Evelyn, you want to bring her up to speed?
Yeah. So for this one, Ambassador, so Jan has drafted. We have a draft note that just did through it. I think it's shared by each. We have it. And then there was some few clarification that he needed from Robert. Sorry, I didn't like everything. But I don't. What is so important on this one that we might have? No, that is that part that we all have to look at and be able to comment and finalize. But I don't think there is anything else that is required for that item.
Yeah.
Well, clear for me too.
Yeah, clear for me.
Yeah. So I think there is, yeah. So that we will just reflect on that draft, and if anyone wants to input, definitely we can input quickly and have it finalized, and then it can be shared probably for the next meeting we have.
I volunteer to add some more inputs on, because Jan mentioned the decision making that needs to be added on that, and then what we the decision making process that came to the position of having refugee games or the sports competition in Africa, and then I need to mention a bit about the sports policy that we have, and then we'll also mention the MOU, and then from there we'll be able to have it complete. Well, not complete, but ready for discussion, like Evelyn mentioned. And then we said by the end of next week, maybe we should be ready to go to send it to member states once we all have the executives give the say so.
Yeah. Is that okay with you, Ambassador?
Yes.
Okay. Super.
And again, Robert, you can delete whatever you want. I have no problem. For the letter, more important is that this first draft helps us to bring us to the right document. So feel free really to adjust. And thank you.
No, there won't be any deleting there. No, that's fine.
I do. Good. Okay, so I think the first item on this agenda is concluded, I think, and with the key points noted on what needs to be done going forward. The data drafting, Ian is comfortable with that. Robert will have one more look at the strategic plan, the one that Brian has shared, and then we will, and also the same thing for the Action 3 meeting with Anoka. There will be a letter drafted, and we can all contribute towards all of this draft. It doesn't have to be just one person drafting. We can all, add our contribution to that. And do we need to put a timeline on these ones, on these items, or how do we want to proceed with that? Or do we just leave it saying these items need to be finalized for the next meeting? How does the team feel?
May I come in?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I think what we said, I think two of those things we said we should have it by the end of next week. Okay. Because this is action in progress. It was just an update, so that by the end of next week, by tomorrow during the weekend, I share the documents. Jan shares the letter. We look at it. We input. We share. So I think by the end of next week, and also regarding so let's give ourselves 1 week to action on those points, and then move with it, and then the next meeting we are going to report what has been done.
Okay.
So I
Super.
believe that. So when we agree on the next meeting, so it should be activities that is done in between the meetings.
Okay. Okay. Super. So, if I got it right, I'm trying to look at my agenda. Next week, that is like, should we say the next Thursday then? Or Friday next week?
I mean, we finalizing document. We are not going to meet next Friday. No.
No, not to meet, but to just make sure we have all these documents
Oh
ready
yes.
for review.
Yeah. We can
Okay.
put that as a deadline.
Okay. Super. Excellent. Okay, so let's move then. So that is concluded. So item 2 on our establishment of task team for Olympic Youth Games. So this one, this is will be ongoing activity for the whole of this month. Next month, I'm meaning, and but the fact that we're not going to meet until probably 25th of May again, is that what we're going to, or when are we going to meet again? We should probably talk about what needs to happen between now and then, right? So task team TOR established. We have those TORs as you mentioned, Robert. So we're going to circulate these ones again. Maybe try to
We're going to update. We'll need to update now, and then we can circulate again. I will update.
You will update and okay, super.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and then team members can comment on them. And once that those TORs are finalized, we also the activity of mapping out who we need to include in this task force, I guess, starts, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So that becomes a second action point.
The second action point.
Yeah. Okay. I think for this item, I think those are two things, right? Because
yes,
once we start mapping and yeah.
Mm-hmm. And also we can unless we want to meet, have just a small meeting, because that is a very crucial as you call that, an action. Unless we want to meet a little bit earlier to just make the final decision on yes, we agree on this and this and that, and then we start sending invitation letters. But as soon as we finish, I think we just need to agree to have a short half an hour meeting just to confirm, and then we send out the invitation letter so that this point is done with.
Okay, super. So you're proposing we do you revamp the TOR, we do the mapping of the stakeholders. Before we reach out to them, we'll have a quick meeting and then we start contacting them, yeah?
Sure.
Okay. Sounds good. So those are 3 items. So when can we have, so that the quick meeting will be, so after we've drafted the TOR and we have mapped. So for the mapping, we need to agree who is going to do the mapping. Or we'll all do it.
I believe we have already started with mentioning, first of all, we mentioned Anoka.
Yeah.
That will be part of the invitation letter. That is one.
For sure.
Number 2, we are going to get Lam.
Yeah.
And then we are saying, listen, there are the other organizations, crucial organizations, key stakeholders we want to bring them on board.
Yeah.
And I believe through the discussions, in email discussion, the small chats, chat rooms that I think Brian can establish, we continue to engage to say, listen, I believe this person is, and then we take it from there. So the mapping will be maybe the ongoing process for the next 2 weeks. Once we have finalized the term of reference, I think we are good to go with the mapping.
Yeah.
And for me, if you ask me, I don't think we need more than Jan, correct me, and yourself, Evelyn, and Ambassador, we don't
Yes.
need more than 6 people on this
No,
technical
no.
committee.
Yeah,
Not
you are
more than.
right. Uh-uh.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, to be consistent, and we don't need more people.
Yeah.
Mm.
I agree. We don't need many. We need the
Okay, yes.
key people, but
Exactly.
they don't have to be many.
Exactly.
Yeah. Super. Okay. So those are items noted, and I like the idea of putting like not something online, whatever it is that we can all put, suggest the names and institutions, and we can all exchange. Okay, makes sense. That makes
Exactly.
sense.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea to be able to
Yeah.
the next, and we can vet them depending. Okay, super. So point were noted. So item 3 for upon meeting. So action plan updates. This we're gonna. These are the things that we're going to. This will. I think in every meeting we'll continue to see where we are at, right? But some
Sure.
of these things do not need action points now, as we discussed.
No.
But for the maybe the number 3 though, it's very key when we talk about the action plan updates, the budget, the project budget, the resource mobilization. Maybe this. I don't know. How does the team feel? Do we have time to tackle this, or should we put it for next?
Oh, if you ask me, when I put that, I was thinking that maybe today we will exhaust point 1 and point 2, like we just, because we are just beginning, and
Yeah.
it will take some time for us to find our feet in what we plan
That's
to do,
true.
what need to be done, who will do. I think this is so. But I think point number 3, okay, that template will have to be populated as we move forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, it will be populated so that we know, because that was just giving an idea. So what we need to focus on next.
Yeah.
You
For
get me?
sure.
So we spoke about, I believe we spoke about the project budget, and then resource mobilization. I think this will be a discussion for our next meeting at the end of May. Apart from the updates on what has taken place in April and during the month of May, I think this will be key for us to start uh, the our next meeting. But it's not something that we should discuss. I mean, we should not start thinking about that when it comes to it. We can start thinking about it right now.
Yeah.
So, but it's just ensuring that we are putting things that we know on the next meeting. This is what we are focusing on, and also when I said action plan update, it was not only the action plan update in relation to what has been done, but what we plan to do going forward.
Yeah, like now, these items we've agreed that we're going to. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is also action plan updates, what has been done, and now going forward, based on what has been done, what needs to be done, and by who. So that's the idea.
Yeah. No, I like that. It does help our meeting forecast and knowing what we've covered, what we need to cover for the next. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super. Okay, so so dealing with that, I think we have with these two important items that we have covered. It's good. Few action points that have been noted. It's those things that we said we're going to on the dates that we're going to make sure that we're committing delivering that. But one of the things that we need to do, as you said, is to have a quick meeting after we have done the task TOR drafted and mapped out on how we're going to. We can have a half an hour meeting sometime. I don't know, maybe in 10 days from now, depending on when these two other items are completed. At the same time, just establish that online presence where we can be able to throw the names of institution and the people that we need to be in a task force, and we can exchange on them. And other than that, there will be drafts. I guess we're going to exchange in next week and the week after. Let's probably aim at, if all goes well, maybe we can have that meeting, that quick meeting sometime May 10, May 11, some around that time. I'm
Sounds
mindful
good.
that we have an event coming up on the 6th of May, which we probably also need to discuss a little bit. Maybe Brian can brief us on that and what we need to do on that. But I wanted that to be in A or B, or before we conclude this meeting. But I don't know what the team feels about that.
I agree.
I agree also, and flexible for the date.
Super. Excellent. That's pretty good. So Brian, over to you about this other the initiative on May 6th.
Thank you very much. Just to share a report, we have a documentary. I'm sorry I've not shared the link to the documentary. We had a spotlight virtual event, and thank you Robert for showing up. We had a virtual a physical session at University of Nairobi, whereby it was dubbed Spotlight Africa 2024, and we had participants from different institutions in Kenya, and young people who took part. And we also had a sports clinic on the same day, which I'm going to share in the documentary and the images for the same. And we are set to have the spotlight virtual event now the whole of Africa. Robert has been communicating with these other countries in regards to the same on 6th of May, and we are set for the same. So we will be having a spotlight virtual event, and the time still, because it will be a Monday, it will be only an hour, and we are going to host it on a Monday, 6th of May, just to kickstart the conversation, because it's always good to test the waters and to know if people are interested. And I've seen many responses from different countries who are very much interested in coming physically to Kenya, but we have managed that diplomatically to tell them that currently we are going to do it virtually, but we'll be doing it physical in due course. In line with that spotlight, we were looking at having Africa Limitless Forum, which is Africa Limitless Conference, which is to showcase the potential of Africa itself through sports, the impact that sports creates in Africa, and everything in line with the same. So these conversations need to go on, not just virtually, but in different countries, and we need to have we need to curate them in a different way. For this one, we curated for a short period of time with short notice, but after the 6th one, we are definitely set to have a long-term conversation for us to lobby these other countries also to come and have a conversation, and also invite different partners. Um, to update you on that, on Friday I had a meeting with a number of companies, which, and I am glad that Ian has mentioned about us talking about the health related to sports, that's sports nutrition and sports science itself, sports medicine. On Friday, I had a meeting with a number of companies from Turkey who are very much into sports. I hope you're getting me.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
we are getting you.
Yes, yes. So on Friday, I had a meeting with a number of companies, which are companies from Turkey and Russia, and they were very much interested in. They have not yet invested in Africa, but we had a conversation, and I just brushed over the Africa Limitless Forum itself, and they were very much willing and said, yes, when you're ready, please come on board. We are ready to come on board and come do some exhibition in the forum itself. So it is something that it is substantial, and I know from the French embassy and from Ian, from your side, I know there's a number of institutions that you can influence from different countries, that is France, and so that you can invite them during the expo and exhibition. So that's basically what we are setting right now. And another thing, I've also had a conversation with the University of Nairobi Health Sciences, and they are very much willing to give us the space for to subsidize the prices on the venue and everything. So it's something that when we once we set our minds on it, and we lobby these different countries to come to Africa, not just African countries to come and exhibit, but these other companies, global companies to come and exhibit. And I know very well, Madam Ambassador, she has a good relationship with own company, and also Ian, I believe you have that close relationship. You are the people who can start that conversation and tell them we need support to lobby these different countries, because lobbying will take time, but we still have time, because I was proposing we can have the expo and exhibition 6 to 7 months from now. That is October or November from now. And once we are set with that, we can set task force from different, whereby it will be dubbed Africa Limitless, and it's a sports, health, and fitness expo. Not just one thing; it's a sports, health, and fitness expo, so that you can lobby different companies to come, and this will help us in financing these other to raise funds to finance these other projects that we are planning. That's my update from our side. Thank you.
Super. Thank you so much, Brian, for this. Any question?
Thank you,
any
Brian.
feedback?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thanks, Brian. The only thing that I wanted to add is that since we will have those three topics that will be on the floor, and I am looking at getting two persons to speak to two of those points. I think me and Brian we will engage to see how do we go about that. And I'm also preparing the draft program, because as you know we need to have some kind of um, um, formal engagement, and I believe the prominent people that will speak at the opening should be, for sure, Ambassador. Would like her to be present to speak. If she's not present in person, even a video conference that is recorded prior to that. And at the same time, we have someone from the African Union, and that also we want to have maybe our assistant director on our side, and also some other people that we feel should be part. I don't know if, since Brian is mentioning the University of Kenya, maybe I don't know the head of science and what have you. So if you can engage with him or her, that we can also have an opening statement. And I am happy, Brian, that you mentioned, because one of my questions was, when we are engaging companies, I think we should engage, and you mentioned that we should engage companies that is in the space, sports, health, and fitness. So I don't know if we limit ourselves to that, because we are thinking of other what you call that, sponsorship or partners in the future. But I believe if we can focus and keep those we talk to those companies, and maybe we need to, when you say fitness, it's fitness and nutrition for sure. I don't know, maybe we can talk to some, I don't know, some hospitals that deals with athletes engagement, like for example psychologists or whatever, sports psychologists, or maybe even in the area of anti-doping, but try to leave it into leave it into the sports, and we can really get engagement. And for sure we are going to do sport apparel companies, but maybe media. I'm just thinking aloud. So, but really related to the sports sector, that we really want to use that limitless forum for them to engage and network. That's my position.
Okay. Maybe just to come in, Robert, I would, yeah, it's the best time to request this, because most of these have been I've been taking time and just writing and discussing with people all alone. But I would really request, as looking at the timeline that you had placed, I would really request, because we only have 6 to 7 months. We can set we can have a meeting next time that is just focused on the Limitless Forum itself, and we set a task force that is going to execute this, because it will be of help. Because for me, having a conversation with the University of Nairobi. They really wanted to come on board, and they were like, "We are going to be the venues. We can be. You know, I'm not final. We need to discuss as a team. I'm not final. They just said that we can be venue sponsors or partners, and then we can partner and see how we can work together. So we really need to form a task force for this, and I would request that before May ends, we need to have a whole committee, organizing committee, and technical working groups for the same purpose, so that when we have a sector for sports, we have a technical working group for the sports sector, from maybe different countries apart from just Kenya. When we have the technical working group, we can also have technical working group for these other sectors, for the purpose of at least it will help, it will reduce the burden of Wikesa going here and there every time. So that is my request for
Sure.
this whole team right now.
I agree. I agree.
100%. Yeah. Mm. Okay. So the item for this meeting is that one is first one we confirm those guest speaker, as you said, Robert, that ambassador is going to be there. If not, that she does a recording message, but also on your side. And also maybe we also try to reach out to either University of Nairobi or any other university that could also show up for that. So we need at least 3 speakers, I think, if I understand what you say. So that is the follow-up action. And then the second thing is again looking at, really organizing this Limitless Africa, and the fact that we need to see those companies if they are much more already associated or related with sports and healthy and well-being, I think, and try to target those ones. So I think that's why. And also the last one, when Brian said that yes, we need to kind of set up a task force for also this, because if we're really to organize this ahead of time and make all, pinning all the, putting all the threads together, it's good to have a technical team that is able to do that. And the sooner we have it, the better it is, in terms of, at least the sooner, meaning by the end of May. If we have this team, then um, the preparation, you know kicks in, and kickstart some of these things that need to happen. So that's for this item. Any other thinking? Any other comments on that?
Just to add that I think based on the program that we had, we will do what we had started with and take on board those points, Brian and myself, on especially finalizing the program of that activity for the 6th of May, and also things like that. But I think we need to maybe put that as a point on the agenda, like we have budget and resource mobilization point on the agenda for our follow-up meeting at the end of May.
Okay.
So that we start really focusing also, like Brian mentioned, on the Africa Midwest Summit and all the related activities that will come to it. So put it on the agenda for our follow-up meeting.
For sure. Definitely. Yeah. Super. So, I also had one A or B, for other members also to have. Another A or B that I had in mind was, so June is the Refugee Day. I was also wondering if are we thinking about doing something at all for that day for sports and the refugee? Are we, or should we just let it slide like that? What does the team think?
I think I can think of something. I think Brian, if I'm not mistaken, we mentioned something about having um, a, a workshop or conference around that, and also to sort of have a presentation and introduction of that collaboration between AU and the foundation on that day, I don't know which space we're planning to do that. Is it virtual or is it in person? Where do we want to do that? And also I think we spoke. I think not in depth, but about some activities that can be done underground for that day. Because I was thinking also to engage our colleague from the humanitarian affairs here to see what kind of input, because they organize things on the refugee day. We want to have a collaboration. So once we finalize on our side, which should be as quickly as possible for you to start engaging with.
Exactly, because they're only talking about 6 weeks from now.
Exactly.
So if we need to do that, then we need to think about. I had some few ideas as well, but I just wanted you guys to first check on what you're saying. What kind of event is this? Are we going to have a virtual event? Is it going to be a conference? Is it going to be some activities where we engage these people on the ground? What is it exactly? And you can also check with your humanitarian team, Robert, to see what they already think about. Then we can try to align our thinking around that, or suggest.
I can talk to them.
Yeah. But I really think we need to do. So I think that's another way also we can showcase what this MOU is, and have visibility around that. Around that day.
Yep.
Yeah. Super. Okay, so this is 1 hour and 45 minutes. I guess I'm going to make sure I'm looking at so I think
Give an
our
example.
meetings. Yes, I'm thinking maybe we should be able. Going forward, we're going to be allocating 2 hours for our. I wanted to see. This is the first time we're having it. Maximum 2 hours. For whatever.
Can I just? Sorry, I was thinking about what you said, Lynn and Robert and Brian. For the refugee days, I think we need to have very clear objective, because it's going to come very fast.
Yeah.
And for me, we need to have a kind of backup, which could be something quite simple. It could be a declaration, so it could be an interview of a refugee that we can spread, or something, a backup. And perhaps we can try to be more clear on which kind of events we could do. For the Refugee Day, so we'll do an event which promotes refugees, dedicated to refugees. I don't know if a run could be done with Kakuma or in center, or in another country, in Rwanda perhaps. I think just having somewhere around the refugee or displaced community a small event to dedicate to them, really for them, simple, something very simple. That could be interesting.
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
Sorry.
You're absolutely right, Jan, and I did like that idea. I actually wanted to propose that to Robert, but I wanted him first to check with the colleagues from humanitarian who usually do organize this. But my thinking was that in Mozambique, in this area where we went with Ambassador the Cabo Delgado, this is the area that has been absolutely affected by the conflict, and a lot of IDPs, a lot of young youth. It could even be something like organizing. It doesn't have like a LAN somewhere where you have like some little T-shirts kids wear, and for the refugee day, and they just LAN around, and you just take a picture, you make a statement about that. It doesn't even have to be some, but as you said, really has to highlight the refugee or internal displaced people themselves. Of course, we're talking about the foundation doing it with the African Union, but that would be an idea.
I think this is part of the discussion. Sorry, Brian, come in. Sorry.
Yes, please.
No, you were about to say something, right?
No, I'm okay. I'm good.
Okay.
No, I was about to say maybe part of the discussion the discussion board that we are going to have. I think Ian raised and Evelyn raised two ideas that I think we can work around, and to having an activity that is impactful and easy to organize,
Yeah.
Since the short period of time that we have to put something together. I think let's keep these two activities in mind, and at the same time, like I said, I'm going to talk uh, to to the humanitarian team, because if they are going to organize a conference for refugees, then we don't need to organize a conference for refugees.
They're gonna
So
solve the
if they
problem.
are going to organize a sport activity for refugees, because we are sport people, maybe we can collaborate and
Together.
enhance it. So let's keep these two ideas that you have. I think it's very good. Evelyn, you should be the
Yes.
lead on that one to push us to make some concrete
Yeah,
decisions on that
yeah,
one. But at the same time, I'll find what I have from the colleagues from humanitarian
for
affairs.
sure.
So if they have a whatever, a conference or a workshop or something, we will collaborate and work together on that
Yeah,
one, so
sounds
that
Sure.
good.
they cover the engagement part, and we cover
Yeah.
the activities part, or vice versa,
Yeah.
whatever.
Sounds good.
Yeah, maybe
Happy to hear that.
maybe to come on board on that. We have had lately Mo Farah, the the goodwill ambassador to IOM. He has been in Kenya, so we'll try as locally to find out from IOM if they are planning anything for the same IOM and UNHCR, so that we can see how we can collaborate. If they are already planning something, we can just get on board. But if they are not planning, we can share our proposals with them.
Sure, I believe that works that way. That should work that way. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'm good on my side.
Super. Very good. Any other AOB? Because I think I talked about my AOB, but any other AOB for this for before we conclude?
I'm good.
You're good.
Yeah, from my end, I'm also
Okay, so we
okay.
need to agree on the next. Yeah, for your end, you're good. So do we keep the 25th again for this general meetings, or and while also we know there will be other shorter meeting sometime after maybe 10 days?
I think
Do
it's
we keep
important,
25th again of May?
important to have a shorter meeting, Evelyn.
I
Can wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I propose
Okay.
we have a meeting earlier before 25th faster, so that it will set the pace for 25th itself.
Yes.
That's from my
Yes.
end.
Super. Okay. And again, if there are some things that, like in all those items we're discussing, and something comes up and it needs urgent attention, I think it's okay for us to convene quickly on WhatsApp, or even like create like a group for a few people so that they can discuss about it. It doesn't have to wait until a month from now. But at least on our agenda, let's just mark the 25th of May for our next general meeting.
Yes.
Super.
Just remember the
Okay.
26th of day is Africa Day.
Oh wow! And what day is that anyway? I didn't even
I
look at the
think
time to see.
25th of May is Africa Day, or African Union Day. No, it's something like that. I need to check just to verify. But it doesn't matter. We can have our meeting. No problem. Doesn't matter.
So maybe to from my end, I would close with I've already uploaded the link that I shared regarding the documents. I'll always be uploading there any meeting links, any recorded or any minutes or any information that requires our attention. I can just be updating and resharing the link. But all the things that we'll be discussing shall always be uploaded there. Thank you.
All right.
Maybe we can hear from Yan
Okay,
and
good. So we're gonna keep that.
yes,
Yes. So we're gonna keep that link then.
yes, we keep that link.
Okay. So
Bye, bye, bye. Thank you.
Okay, bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.
what I
Let's
know.
have a festival.
Thank you.
Somebody's having
Who's
a good
playing
time there.
football?
So I'm also noticing 25th of May is a Saturday.
Huh?
So we may have to have it on 24th, which will be a Friday. Our next meeting.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I just looked at it and it looks like it's gonna be on a Saturday. It falls on a Saturday. We do 24.
Yes.
I don't have a problem with the Saturday, but it's okay.
I
24
neither
is
do
fine by
I.
me.
Depends on the team.
I don't have a problem.
6 days. Okay. What do other team members feel? Jan, Saturday is a family day.
It's good for me.
We pick on
24,
Friday.
Friday, Saturday. You decide. I'm fine
Okay.
with both.
Super. So then we can keep 25th. I don't mind that. Yeah. Okay. So good. And then we just allocate 2 hours to go through all the items that we are, or if we finish early, we can always end up before 2 hours. But at least from this first meeting gives us an idea, between 1 hour to 2 hours in terms of having a proper discussion and getting through all the items.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So
Maybe just the last question. Are we comfortable with the night time, or we can adjust the time so that I picked the 8 p.m. for the purpose of everyone to have settled. Maybe it's early in the morning
I
somewhere.
think 8 p.m. is better. No, not early in the morning. Oh,
somebody's against the morning.
The time that I picked is better
Remember,
for all of us.
Asada works all night, so no problem.
Again.
Okay, thank you.
Nah.
For me, I'm fine. I don't have any
I'm
problem.
fine too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's much better because sometimes at night it's cooler to discuss things.
Oh, great.
Okay, super.
After having taken dinner and what have you, you feel a bit stronger.
Yeah. Sure. Nice. I think it's good. This time, I think it's good. There's less
It's good.
distraction anyway.
Yeah, less distraction.
At least for
sure.
me.
The phone is not ringing and what have you.
Exactly. Okay, super. So 25th of May, Saturday, and the same time, and we just allocate 2 hours.
Okay.
And otherwise we'll be on online, just exchanging on those.
Alex.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if we have a group for the same, so that in case there's something popping up, we can just be sharing the information on the WhatsApp platform.
True. Do we want to establish the WhatsApp group?
Okay, I'll surely do so.
Evelyn, didn't we have a group before?
We used to have a group before. I don't remember what.
I don't know if it's still active. Yeah.
That's true.
Maybe if
For
we
few-
if
yeah,
we
we
have
used
one,
to
we
have
can
a-
add.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we used to have a group before. Let me go through my contacts again and see if I can find it.
Kindly add me if you
Yeah.
have any group, so that if I have anything popping up or someone else, they can just be sharing, and then we can
For
discuss
sure.
later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sawa.
Thank you
Okay,
very
so
much.
Ambassador, you close the meeting. I'm done
Okay,
technical.
I want to wish everybody good night. And what's the time? Tomorrow is Friday. And anyway, it's thank you for everybody. And this great and healthy meeting, our first meeting.
Yes.
Let's hope
Thank you, Ambassador.
and this Hannah.
Yeah. Good night, people. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Excellent.
Good night.
Excellent.
Good night,
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
now.
Bye. Bye.